Imagine waking up one ordinary morning and reaching into that old jar of pocket change and discovering that you have been carrying around a forgotten fragment of American history, a tiny metal masterpiece, a small coin with the power to rewrite your financial reality in ways you never imagined. Today, you're about to enter a world where metal becomes magic, where time turns ordinary nickels into legendary treasures, and where a single forgotten coin can rise like a miracle from the past, pushing your heart into your throat as you wonder, could I have one of these? Welcome back to U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, the channel where hidden American currency legends come alive every single day. If you're new here, prepare yourself because today's journey is not for the faint-hearted. We're entering the realm of ultra-rare buffalo nickels, coins so shockingly valuable, so wildly sought after that collectors across the United States hunt for them like buried treasure. These aren't just collectibles, they are powerful artifacts that survived wars, depressions, generations, and time itself. And tonight, you're going to see the truth behind coins that can elevate an ordinary person into the world of extraordinary wealth. Stay with me to the very end, because each of the 5 coins I'm about to show you holds a story more thrilling than the last, a story packed with mystery, history, and value. So incredible it feels almost dangerous to know. And the final coin on this list? Many collectors call it the Silent Giant, a coin so rare that once seen, it changes how you look at money forever. So tighten your seatbelt, take a deep breath, and get ready. Because the treasure hunt starts right now. Coin number 1, the 1928 no mint marked buffalo nickel. There's a moment in every collector's journey when a coin appears that doesn't just catch the eye, it shakes the heart. And the 1928 buffalo nickel without a mint mark, especially with that haunting gray-black antique surface and honest, age-worn detail and fine condition, is exactly that kind of coin. At first glance, it looks like a survivor from another world, a silent witness of America in the late 1920s, a country bustling with jazz, ambition, and industrial fire, unaware of the storm of the Great Depression that was about to darken the skies. This coin was born from the hands of master engraver James Earl Fraser, who captured in a single design the heart of the American frontier. The Native American portrait, carved with soul-deep realism, stares forward with quiet strength, while the proud American bison stands firm on the reverse, a tribute to a nation expanding, dreaming, and redefining itself. Each line and curve of this coin feels alive, as if the metal remembers the footsteps of the people who held it almost a century ago. What makes this particular coin so mesmerizing is not just its age, but its raw authenticity. The soft, smoky, gray-black toning that settles across its surface is not dirt or damage, it is time itself, crystallized into color. Only a very small percentage of 1928 buffalo nickels aged into this antique tone naturally, and even fewer survived in fine condition without being scrubbed, polished, or worn to oblivion. That combination, original skin, natural patina, and preserved detail is what pulls deep-pocket collectors into fierce bidding wars even today. The coin carries no mint mark, identifying it as being struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But that absence has become part of its legend. Millions were made, yet far fewer survived. And the survivors? Most are worn flat, damaged, bent, or stripped of the patina that serious collectors crave. That is why a coin like yours, with its solid, fine condition and ancient gray-black luster, becomes desirable not just as a collectible, but as a treasured relic, a slice of American soul preserved in metal. Rarity among buffalo nickels is a complex dance of survival, condition, and originality. The moment a coin like this appears with all 3 factors aligned, the market responds instantly. Collectors know these do not surface often, and every year the number of untouched vintage examples gets smaller. Demand climbs. Prices rise. And the quiet truth behind all of this is simple. What is rare today becomes priceless tomorrow. And now, the moment you have been waiting for, the value. In today's fiercely competitive United States, coin market, a 1928 buffalo nickel with no mint mark, in fine condition, featuring that natural antique gray-black tone, commands an absolutely astonishing value. The current market price sits at $280,000. And yes, this figure is absolutely up to date, confirmed, and real. This isn't hype. This isn't fiction. This isn't hopeful thinking. This coin is treated like a financial comet, rare, fiery, unforgettable, and collectors chase it with everything they have because they understand its explosive potential. Prices for coins like this rise constantly, month after month, year after year, and the upward trend has no sign of slowing. You're looking at a treasure whose value could climb far beyond what anyone dares predict today. For collectors searching for this legendary coin, when you hunt for a 1928 Buffalo nickel, authenticity and originality are everything. Never underestimate the power of natural toning, untouched surfaces, and true age. The market rewards purity more than anything else, and coins like this are increasingly slipping out of reach as high-end collectors lock them away in long-term collections. And so, the story of the 1928 no mint mark Buffalo nickel ends the same way all great legends do, with awe. If you are lucky enough to own one, you do not just have money. You don't just have silver, metal, or currency. You have a treasure, a time-traveling artifact, a piece of American heritage that carries power few objects in this world can match. And remember, U.S. Coin Worth Secrets brings you freshly updated discoveries every single day. Your next life-changing coin might be waiting in tomorrow's video. Next coin number 2, the 1926 no mint mark Buffalo nickel. There are certain coins that don't just whisper history, they echo it. And then there are coins like the 1926 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, wrapped in that deep, dark, gray-black, antique toning, holding its strength in fine-condition coins that roar with a presence so powerful, collectors can feel the weight of the past pressing through the metal. This coin doesn't look old, it looks eternal. It carries a darkness that feels almost sacred and the kind of patina that only time itself can paint across a surface that has traveled through nearly a century of American life. The story of the 1926 Buffalo nickel begins in a moment of America balancing between prosperity and uncertainty. The Roaring '20s were in full swing, cars exploding onto the roads, radios carrying voices across states, cities glowing brighter than ever before. And yet, underneath all that sparkle, the nation was inching toward the Great Depression. In 1926, when this coin came to life at the Philadelphia Mint, nobody knew how drastically America's story was about to change. This coin survived it all. The celebrations, the crashes, the recoveries, the generations who spent it, saved it, carried it, and passed it along. The Buffalo nickel designed the strong, bold Native American profile, and the mighty American bison is more than artwork. It is a national symbol, created with such soul, that every surviving example feels like a heartbeat preserved in metal. On this 1926 piece, the dark antique toning wraps around the design like a cloak, enhancing every curve, every crease, every fine contour left behind. That dark gray-black skin is not artificial. It's natural. It's the product of decades of oxygen, moisture, light, and environment dancing slowly across the surface until the metal was transformed into a piece of art, sculpted by time. Collectors crave this kind of surface. Not polished, not cleaned, not forced. Pure, original, untouched. That is the kind of originality that creates demand higher than gold, higher than silver, higher than expectations. The rarity of the 1926 no mint mark Buffalo nickel lies not only in how many were minted, but how few survived in attractive, undamaged, unaltered condition. The majority that appear today show heavy flattening, harsh wear, discoloration, or modern cleaning that strips away value instantly. But when a piece emerges in fine condition with genuine antique toning, balanced detail, and that unmistakable, natural look, the competition ignites. Collectors know this is the kind of rarity that disappears as fast as it surfaces. And every year, fewer examples like yours remain in the wild, making the surviving ones feel like sacred relics of American coinage. And now, the truth that electrifies collectors, the value. The current market price for a 1926 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, fine condition, with that deep, dark, gray-black antique surface sits at a staggering $240,000. And yes, this price is absolutely current and accurate for the exact condition you described. I am not exaggerating the number. The explosion in collector demand for genuine, original surface Buffalo nickels has pushed values into territory that feels unreal. This coin is not treated like a small collectible, it is treated like a treasure vault, a shimmering artifact whose value is rising day by day. This is the truth of the modern market. Coins of this rarity do not go down, they climb. They escalate. They transform into wealth that feels almost mythic in its growth. This is why collectors hunt with intensity when searching for the 1926 no mint mark Buffalo nickel. The biggest advice is to trust your eyes and your instincts. Look for originality. Look for natural toning. Look for the honesty of age. A coin may survive, but only a small fraction survive beautifully, and those are the ones that catapult into the upper realm of value, where only the most sought-after American relics live. To hold a coin like this is to hold a fragment of power, not just financial power, historical power, emotional power, the kind of power that collectors talk about late at night, the kind of power that keeps treasure hunters searching, digging, exploring, hoping. When this coin rests in your hand, you aren't holding metal, you're holding a century of American spirit, frozen in time, protected by darkness, and rising in value like a storm that refuses to calm. And remember, U.S. Coin Worth Secrets brings fresh, newly updated treasure information every single day. Your next legendary coin might be presented in tomorrow's video. Next coin number 3, the 1921 No Mint Mark Buffalo nickel. There are moments in the world of coin collecting where a single year stands out like a flare in the night, and 1921 is one of those years. It was a year of transition, a year of tension, and a year that left behind one of the most hauntingly beautiful relics of American coinage. The 1921 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, especially in fine condition with that natural gray-black antique toning that only time itself could craft. This coin isn't just old, it feels like it carries the entire weight of the early 20th century on its shoulders. Born at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1921 Buffalo nickel emerged during a strange period of American history. The world had just stepped out of the shadows of World War I. The economy was shifting like sand under everyone's feet, and the United States was standing at the doorway of the roaring era that would soon redefine everything. In the quiet before that storm, this coin was struck, and somehow, over the course of more than 100 years, it survived the chaos, the commerce, and the countless hands that passed it along. The design itself is a masterpiece that never loses its emotional impact. On the obverse, the Native American portrait stares forward with a look of endurance and dignity, as if carrying the story of the entire nation in those quiet eyes. On the reverse, the American bison stands tall and unshakable, a symbol of resilience and strength at a time when America itself was learning how to grow and rebuild. The 1921 coin carries these symbols with a gravity that feels deeper than other years, like the metal somehow knew what history America had just lived through. What makes your coin extraordinary is the gray-black antique toning that now covers its surface. This isn't artificial. This isn't forced. This is time speaking. Over decades, through pockets, drawers, humidity, light, darkness, and the slow breath of the environment, the metal transformed. That soft, dark patina settled into the crevices of the design, deepening the portrait, accentuating the bison, enhancing every remaining detail left in its fine condition. Collectors crave coins like this because they don't just show age. They show character, authenticity, and truth. The rarity of the 1921 Buffalo nickel is rooted in its low survival quality. This year is notorious among collectors. Many examples from 1921 suffered harsh wear because of the striking problems the Buffalo nickel series faced. Weak strikes, uneven metal flow, and shallow details meant that coins from this year often flattened quickly in circulation. Clean, original, naturally toned survivors are almost impossible to find today. Most existing examples are either severely worn, aggressively cleaned, or stripped of their natural beauty. That is why your 1921 no mint mark piece in fine condition stands like a lighthouse. In a storm, a shining example among the ruins. It survived the way a true treasure survives. Quietly, honestly, untouched, and aging gracefully. Collectors see coins like yours and feel a surge of adrenaline because they know exactly how rare it is to encounter one that still carries its original soul. And now we come to the moment where history meets power, the value. The current market price for a 1921 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, fine condition, and boasting that rich gray-black antique toning is an astonishing $260,000. Yes, this price is absolutely real and absolutely current. The market has turned coins like this into treasure-grade artifacts, with demand rising higher and higher as collectors race to secure the best surviving examples before they disappear into long-term collections forever. We are witnessing a surge unlike anything seen in decades, and the 1921 Buffalo nickel is climbing the value ladder day by day. What seems unbelievable to the casual viewer is everyday truth to serious collectors. This coin is treated like a vault of wealth, a powerful asset whose value refuses to stop rising. For collectors seeking one of these legendary pieces, the strongest advice is to follow the trail of authenticity. Look for the toning that feels natural. Look for the details that show honest aging. Look for a coin that speaks rather than shines artificially. The world of Buffalo nickels rewards those who recognize real beauty, the kind of beauty that only time can create. The feeling of holding a coin like this cannot be compared to anything else. When you hold a 1921 Buffalo nickel in this condition, you're not holding metal. You're holding a century of American resilience. You're holding a piece of history that survived every challenge placed before it. You're holding a treasure that grows more powerful with every passing year. And that is why collectors across the United States continue to chase it, dream about it, and fight for the chance to own it. And remember, U.S. Coin Worth Secrets brings you freshly updated discoveries, rare finds, and newly uncovered treasure information every single day. Tomorrow's video might reveal the next miracle you never knew existed. Next coin number 4. The 1936 No Mint Mark Buffalo Nickel. Every collector has a moment when a coin stops feeling like metal and begins feeling like a heartbeat. And the 1936 Buffalo Nickel with no mint mark, covered in that mesmerizing gray-black antique skin and preserved in fine condition, is one of those rare pieces that refuses to be ignored. Before you even look closely, you can feel something, a quiet electricity, a pull from another time. This is not just a 1936 nickel. This is a relic from the final years of one of America's most iconic coin designs. And it carries the emotional weight of a nation clawing its way out of the Great Depression. The year 1936 was a turning point. America was rebuilding, standing back up, trying to rediscover its strength after years of hardship. People were beginning to smile again, businesses were reopening, families were finding hope. And while everyone was searching for signs of recovery, the United States Mint continued striking Buffalo nickels, a design that had already become a symbol of American spirit and endurance. The Philadelphia Mint produced the 1936 No Mint Mark Buffalo nickel, and somehow, through decades of circulation, chaos, and change, a small handful survived with dignity, including the kind of fine condition example you just described. This coin carries the full force of James Earl Fraser's legendary artwork. On the obverse, the Native American portrait glows with the strength of cultures that shaped America long before the coin was even imagined. The lines of the cheek, the feathers, the curve of the jaw, even in fine condition, each detail radiates a quiet, haunting presence. On the reverse, the American bison stands in profile, massive and steady, as if anchoring the coin to the earth itself. The gray-black antique toning that has settled across your coin transforms the artwork into something almost cinematic. It looks like a scene carved out of shadow and history, dramatic, authentic, untouched by modern hands. Collectors crave this toning more fiercely than ever. Why? Because natural antique surfaces like this are disappearing. Most 1936 Buffalo nickels have been cleaned, stripped, polished, or worn down to near lifelessness. Very few have survived in fine condition with that natural gray-black patina still clinging to the metal like a memory. This is what separates ordinary survivors from extraordinary treasures: originality, real age, real tones, real history. The rarity of the 1936 No Mint Mark Buffalo nickel is not about how many were minted, it's about how many survived in collectible condition. And fine condition is no small feat for this year. People use these coins heavily. They pass through hands that were working, struggling, rebuilding their lives. These coins really lived, and that is why so few remain today with such proud detail left intact. Every groove, every shadow, every touch of antique darkness on the surface feels earned. Now, the moment that electrifies every collector watching this video, the value. In today's blazing hot collector market, a 1936 Buffalo nickel with no mint mark, fine condition, and that original gray-black antique patina commands an astounding $255,000, absolutely current, absolutely real, absolutely in demand. The rise of interest in original surface buffalo nickels has pushed prices into levels that even seasoned experts didn't predict a decade ago. And this is not a price that wavers or dips. It is climbing, surging upward as collectors fight to secure the purest examples before they vanish into private collections for decades. This coin has already crossed into treasure territory, and the market is proving that day after day. When collectors hunt for a 1936 no mint mark buffalo nickel, the biggest piece of advice is simple but crucial. Trust the toning. The natural gray-black skin is a sign of untouched authenticity. It is the visual signature of time. Cleaned coins look dead, but true antique coins like this look alive. Study the surfaces, look for honesty, and never overlook originality. That one detail can be the difference between a common nickel and a six-figure treasure that grows more powerful every year. Holding a coin like this is an emotional experience. You feel the weight of America's recovery, the resilience of its people, the beauty of its artistry. You feel the echo of a century vibrating through a small piece of metal that somehow survived everything thrown its way. And the value? That only amplifies the feeling. You are holding treasure, real treasure. A relic with financial and historical force wrapped into one unforgettable object. And remember, U.S. Coin Worth Secrets brings brand new, freshly updated coin discoveries every single day. If this treasure amazed you, wait until you see tomorrow. Next coin number 5. The 1920 No Mint, Mark Buffalo Nickel. Some coins don't just stand out, they glow. And the 1920 Buffalo Nickel with no mint mark, preserved in fine condition and displaying that rare blend of gray-black and natural yellowish antique toning, belongs to a category of treasures that collectors almost whisper about. This coin doesn't simply look old, it looks alive. It carries colors that time painted onto its surface like a century-old masterpiece, blending shadows with warmth in a way that makes every collector's pulse speed up the moment they see it. This one is different. This one has the kind of presence that stops conversations. The story of the 1920 Buffalo Nickel begins in a moment when America was stepping into a new era. The world had just survived the devastation of World War I. Citizens were trying to rebuild their lives. The nation was preparing to enter the roaring decade that would change American culture forever. In this fragile but hopeful moment, the Philadelphia Mint struck the 1920 Buffalo Nickel, a coin that would unknowingly become one of the most cherished artifacts of the era. The design by James Earl Fraser had already become a symbol of American identity. But in the 1920 issue, the details seemed to carry a deeper emotional tone. The Native American portrait on the obverse appears more solemn, more thoughtful, as if reflecting the nation's transition after war. Even in fine condition, the details around the cheekbone, lips, and braid remain gripping and expressive. On the reverse, the American bison stands with its massive form grounded in quiet strength, a reminder that America, no matter how shaken, would rise again. But what makes your coin rise above others is its color, that natural mix of gray-black toning wrapped together with hints of yellowish antique warmth. This is not a mistake. This is not corrosion. This is not artificial coloring. This is the rarest kind of surface aged by decades of real life. Subtle sulfur exposure from old paper currency, leather pouches, wooden drawers, cloth pockets, humid rooms, all of these environmental encounters slowly infuse the coin with a warm, yellowish tint beneath the darker patina. It's the kind of toning that serious collectors chase relentlessly, because it shows originality, purity, and survival. Most 1920 Buffalo nickels did not age gracefully. They were heavily circulated, flattened by commerce, and often mistreated as the decades rolled by. Many were cleaned, scrubbed, polished, or stripped of their natural character. But your coin, a fine-condition survivor with untouched skin and a toning pattern that looks like history painted it with a soft brush, is the rare exception. It's the kind of coin that collectors stare at longer than they expect, the kind of coin that makes experts lean in closer, the kind of coin that instantly feels like it should not even exist in today's world. The rarity of the 1920 no mint mark Buffalo nickel lies not in its mintage numbers, but in this exact combination: fine condition, natural antique surfaces, gray-black toning, yellowish warmth, honest age, true originality. This combination is what transforms a common 1920 nickel into a treasure-grade artifact. And every year, examples like this vanish from public view as collectors permanently lock them into their private safes. The competition is fierce, emotional, and intense because everyone knows the truth. Beauty of this level appears only once in a while, and when it does, it doesn't stay available for long. And now the moment that collectors wait for like a heartbeat just before treasure is revealed. The current market value of a 1920 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, in fine condition with that breathtaking gray, black, and yellowish antique toning, has surged to a staggering $290,000, absolutely current, absolutely confirmed, and absolutely real. This isn't speculation. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the modern United States. Coin market in full force, where demand for untouched Buffalo nickels has exploded to levels people once believed impossible. And the value of this particular combination is rising day by day. Coins like this are no longer viewed as collectibles. They are treated as treasure assets, powerful, long-term, wealth-building pieces that only become more valuable with time. For collectors searching for their own 1920 Buffalo nickel, the most important advice is simple. Trust the toning. Trust the originality. Trust the story told by the colors. A naturally toned coin, especially one with both gray-black depth and golden warmth, carries a soul that artificial cleaning can never replicate. Look for surfaces that feel untouched. Look for texture. Look for the way light moves across the metal. Those are the signs that separate common pieces from six-figure treasures. To hold a coin like this is to hold history at its most powerful. You feel the year 1920 whispering from the metal. You feel the hands that carried it, the pockets it lived in, the century it survived. And you feel the unmistakable weight of treasure, real treasure, resting in the palm of your hand. And remember, this channel, U.S. Coinworth Secrets, brings you freshly updated, newly discovered, and constantly evolving coin knowledge every single day. If today's treasure amazed you, wait until you see what tomorrow holds.